So, any fans of the Grateful Dead? Bet there are a few of you watching. Talk about a trip down memory lane, right? Ronald Pigpen McKernan, one of the original founding members of the Grateful Dead, is laid to rest right here at Alta Mesa Memorial Park in Palo Alto, California, toward the back of the cemetery. And I've been waiting a few minutes because in this entire cemetery, which is fairly large, only one section is being watered. That's McKernan's section, so I guess I'm going to get my feet wet, but I think I'm going to go see if I can try to find his gravesite. His Finding Grave Memorial page does have a GPS, so it should be easy to find, but we'll see. I was waiting off in a distance for the sprinklers to go off in this section, and they finally went off after about a half hour. So I drove back over here, parked right here, and just as I started to walk into the grass, the sprinkler, one of the sprinklers went off, and the water just went right up my butt. I mean, just completely soaked my pants. I mean, it was so loud and so violent, I didn't even know what was happening for a second, and until I realized I was completely soaked. The sprinklers have been on for at least a half hour. It's the middle of the day. No other section has sprinklers on. They finally went off, and as soon as I pulled up to go visit his gravesite, they went on again. Kind of bizarre. It's a good thing I brought another pair of pants, a spare pair of shorts to wear. Otherwise, my car would be drenched. My pants are drenched, but I was able to take them off, and I've got a spare pair of shorts here. Now, it looks like the sprinkler you can see is just right here at my car. Is this crazy or what? Now, the car on the other side there, they were waiting before me. They were sitting here waiting, and they left, and they've come back, and now they see the sprinkler is still on, so they're parked on the other side, the other section. So, you know, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you try to visit a gravesite, and the cemetery's closed, or they're having a funeral right next to the grave you want to visit, or they turn the water on and leave it on for an hour or two or three. I did visit a cemetery once where the water was on in that section. I think it must have just been broken because it was on for 2-3 hours that I was there. It never went off. This one, though, like I say, it went off, and then as soon as I stepped into the grass, they turned it on and hosed me down. So I'm not going to need a shower tonight. But anyway, this is where he's laid to rest. Right over here where it's being watered. I guess my car is getting a free car wash as well. I'm not very good at being patient, but I drove all this way to see his gravesite. So I decided just to wait until the water finally went off again. And this time the water stayed off. And luckily I also brought an extra pair of tennis shoes since the grass is completely drenched. Looking at his headstone, it's really hard to believe that he's been dead now for 50 years. He died on March 8th, 1973 in Corte Madera, which is a suburb of San Francisco. And he was born in the city of San Bruno, which is just about 25 miles north of here, on September 8th, 1945. Sadly, he was only 27 years old when he died. His cause of death was a gastrointestinal hemorrhage, following years of heavy drinking and liver damage. He grew up in the San Francisco area, and in the mid-1960s, he suggested to his friend Jerry Garcia, who was also a musician, that they start their own band. They called the band the Grateful Dead, and the rest is history. In 1994, McKernan was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And in case you're wondering, like I was, he gained the name Pigpen from the Peanuts comic strip character because he was always dirty, untidy, and disheveled. The epitaph on his headstone reads, "Pigpen was, and is now, forever one of the Grateful Dead." And as you can see, his gravesite is very well visited, and he's still very much remembered and loved by his fans, even though he died more than 50 years ago. I know lots of other YouTubers have been here to his gravesite already, but I still wanted to come here and visit his gravesite myself in person, and share it with those of you who might not have already seen it, or had a chance to visit yourself in person. Were any of you lucky enough to see him live in concert with the Grateful Dead back when you were young? Please feel free to share your memories of the Grateful Dead and your memories of Pigpen in the comments section below. This week I want to give a shout out and a very big thank you to my newest Patreon supporter, Trish McKernan. Thanks, Trish, for your very kind and generous donation to this channel using Patreon. It's very appreciated. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up, and thank you to all of you who have taken the time to subscribe. Until our next trip to the cemetery together, Thanks for sharing the memories, everybody.